Hi! Some say that a racket stringer can only be as good as their stringing machine. That might be partly true, but their stringing machine can only be as good as their tension calibration. So let's say you have a lockout machine. In this case, I have a Prince Neos 1000. In this video, I'll show you how to calibrate your machine. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so to get started, you need a couple of things. One, you'll need the Allen wrench. It usually comes with your stringing machine, and that's what you're going to use to adjust the calibration on the machine in case you need to make any kind of adjustments. For some reason, the Prince Neos 1000 doesn't come with this Allen wrench, and it's a 3/32 size, so just so that you know. The tension calibrator, there's various types. I'm using a spring-loaded type of calibrator, and I did upgrade my tension calibrator. What I did is I added Kevlar strings instead of using the standard nylon strings that usually come with it. So if you want to check how I did that, just search on the website, upgrading your tension calibrator. All right, so first I'm going to get started with, I'm going to remove one of the glide bars. You won't need both of them. So I'll just take this one off. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn your turntable perpendicular to the tension head. But what I like to also do is make sure that the tension head is always set at the same position when I'm taking the measurements. And if you want to check out another video that I did, you can search on the website consistent tensioning and streamlined technique. So in this case, I'm setting my tension head right here where it's clearing this this side, this mounting post at 12 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it so it's perpendicular. And I'm going to grab the one glide bar that I'm going to use for this. And I'm going to place both clamps onto this glide bar. And what I like to do is center the two clamps. So you can see here, it's centered right in the center piece right there. So I'm going to go ahead and position it right there. And as far as my tension calibrator, there are pounds on one side and kilograms. So what I want to do is turn the pounds so it's facing up as I'm pulling it so I can read it. And you notice that I have on these Kevlar strings, I have a couple of knots. And what I do with that is I already pre-measured this. So whenever I place the clamps onto this string, it's always going to start off positioned between the two knots. So I'm going to just make sure that I clamp it in place right there. And you have it nice and straight. And then on this end, I also have another knot at the end. This is where I'm going to place it into the jaw grippers when I start to pull tension. So what I'm going to do is pull it at 3 tensions. I'm going to start at 40. And basically, if it's set at 40 here, it should read 40 on my tension calibrator. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it. And right now it's reading a little bit high, about 42, but I'm gonna do it a couple of times. Yeah, so I like to check it at 3 tensions. So I'm gonna go up to 50 and we'll see if it's still reading high. Yeah, so it's right at 52 and you can see that picture there, what it looks like up close. And then I'll take a final reading test here at 60 pounds. And that's also at about 62. So it's about 2 pounds tight. So what you're going to do to adjust for that, and most lockout machines are pretty similar in that it has a locking lever right here. That's what pops out when you reach the reference tension. But there's this catch right here that releases it. So what's going to happen is when you make the adjustment, it's either going to move this catch lower or higher, and that'll determine how soon it'll release this locking lever. So now that it's about 2 pounds tight, what you want to do in this particular machine, there's a hole here where you insert the Allen wrench. It's pulling a little bit tight, 2 pounds, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and once I get this position in here, if it's tight, I want to bring the tension down. So the way I remember to do it is just turn the Allen wrench downwards, which is going to be, in this case, clockwise. And I usually do it about 1/4 of a turn. So Just gonna move it about there. And then I'll go ahead and recheck the 3 tensions that I just took. It's right now set at 60. And yeah, it brought it down. Yeah, it's pretty close. Let's take a look at 50. Okay, 50, it's still a little bit high. It looks like it's about 51. And we'll check it at 40. I'm probably going to have to adjust it one more time with the Allen wrench. Yeah, it's still about a pound too tight. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go another quarter turn on this. And again, I'm going to go down because it's pulling tight and I want to bring the tension down. Okay, so let's try that again. We're going to start at 40. Oh, it's right on. I'll just do it a couple of times. Yep, right there. Check it at 50. Yep, it's right on that yellow line. And we'll finally do it at 60. Yep. So I like to check it a couple of times just to make sure. So it's consistently pulling at the right tension at this point, so I won't have to make any more adjustments. Now in some rare cases, or maybe some machines don't have the Allen wrench, what you might have to do is loosen the cap screw, and you might have to manually move this whole assembly up or down to adjust this, this catch for the lever. But I think most machines have some kind of finer adjustment that you can use an Allen wrench like that. Another case that might happen is maybe your 60 might pull too tight. It might maybe read at 61, then your 50 might be right on, and the 40 might be a little bit loose. I mean, it can kind of vary sometimes. If that happens, what I would recommend is just make sure that your 50 is right on, because typically most rackets these days are strung probably between 45 to 55 pounds. So I think 50 is a good tension to set it at. And if you're pulling a little bit tight at 60, then you know it is what it is. Or if you really want to adjust for that, you can maybe bring your reference tension down a pound. Or if it's pulling loose on the 40 end, you can increase it by 1. But I think at that point, it's probably going to only vary a pound or so. So setting it or having it set at 50 and making sure that your reading is at 50 is the best solution, in my opinion, in case that happens. Now, if the spring gets old, the spring that you can't see here right now, you may have to replace it after a while if you're getting really inconsistent readings. But there are swivel clamp type machines, so I'll have a picture of how I set that up. But basically, again, you're going to turn the turntable perpendicular to the tension head. And you'll see in that picture that I also upgraded that tension calibrator. I have the 2 knots at the ends of the clamp and the other knot at the end of the jaw gripper. And I like to position it so the clamps are in a position that they can hold the tension calibrator without too much stress on the clamps. So, so that's it. Yeah, you just have to make sure that you check it. I would check it as soon as you get the machine just to make sure. And anytime you move the machine, you want to do that. And probably after every 50 stringings or so, you want to just double check it. But yeah, you want to just make sure your tension is pulling consistently. In summary, a tension calibrator is your stringing machine's best friend. And remember that a racket stringer can only be as good as your tension calibration. Thanks for watching. Happy stringing. And let your strings play. Aloha! The AM Stringing Pro Shop is happy to serve Hawaii's tennis community's tennis needs. However, if I don't carry something that you want here in the shop, or you don't live in Hawaii, here's another way that you can support local. I recently joined the Tennis Warehouse affiliate team, and if you purchase any products from Tennis Warehouse, please use my affiliate link provided below. I will receive a commission, which will help support local and my YouTube channel. Mahalo for your support, and let your strings play.